This is CBN NewsWatch.
And thank you so much for joining us. It is Friday, February 5th, 2001. I'm Ephraim Graham. Ahead today, a political leader stripped of her committee assignments. We have a reaction from both sides today. It is not just the virus taking lives. We're going to explore the deadly consequences stemming from the pandemic. Fragments recovered from the time of King David. We're going to show you the link between purple and biblical times. And on the brink of Super Bowl Sunday, who's the favorite to win? Our sports director, Sean Brown, is here to answer that for us. All those stories and more are ahead in this edition of CBN NewsWatch. I want to begin this half hour in Washington, where the Democrat-controlled House of Representatives voted to remove a Republican from two committees she was on for social posts she made before she was elected. Our Paul Strand is following this story for us.
All House Democrats, joined by 11 Republicans, threw Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene off the Budget and Education committees. This was because of past media posts, like showing herself with an assault rifle next to the left-wing Democratic members of what's known as the Squad.
And tell me what message you think it sends.
But also for her backing of wild conspiracy theories, like the idea that Jewish-controlled space lasers started California wildfires, or that a plane did not hit the Pentagon on 9/11.
It's odd, there's never any evidence shown for a plane in the Pentagon.
On the House floor, she said she's changed.
These were words of the past, and these things do not represent me. 9/11 absolutely happened. I remember that day crying all day long, watching it on the news. And it's a tragedy for anyone to say it didn't happen.
But it was too late, as the majority took the unprecedented step of stripping away a minority member's committee assignments.
Serving on a committee is not a right. It is a privilege.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi blasted Republicans for not dealing with Greene themselves.
If any of our members threaten the safety of other members, we'd be the first ones to take them off of the committee.
Top Republicans had condemned Greene's past posts and words, but weren't willing to remove her from her committee assignments. They suggested it was wrong to punish the Georgia lawmaker for what she said before being elected.
Bringing a majority resolution to the floor to remove a minority member from her committee assignments is wrong and unprecedented.
And they warned Democrats the GOP might do the same thing to them when Republicans retake the House. As for Greene, she immediately issued a fundraising email saying, "Liberals in the U.S. House have voted to remove me from my committees, and their next step will be to expel me from Congress. They want to cancel me. They don't care that I was duly elected by 75% of the voters in my district." Paul Strand, CBN News, Washington.
President Joe Biden says he's optimistic bipartisanship is possible for a COVID-19 relief deal, but he's also signaling he will move ahead without Republicans. The White House wants to spend $1.9 trillion for direct stimulus payments to Americans, but Republicans prefer the $600 billion version. Democrats and Republicans also disagree over the size of the direct relief payments. Biden suggests he is not willing to budge on $1,400, but may consider limiting those checks to lower-income Americans. A decision has to be made by March 14th, when the current federal jobless benefits expire. Murder rates saw an historic increase nationwide last year. That is according to a report from the National Commission of COVID-19 and Criminal Justice. As Charlene Aaron shows us, experts analyzed data from U.S. cities big and small to investigate the pandemic's impact.
The study looked at crime rates in 34 cities ranging in size from New York to Norfolk, Virginia. In addition to the significant spike in homicides, researchers found how the pandemic may have contributed to the uptick in violence. While 2020 will be remembered for deaths due to COVID-19, this report also found an increase of 1,268 homicides over the year before. Statistics in urban areas tell an even bigger story. In Milwaukee, the total increased by 85%. Seattle saw a 63% rise, New York City 43%, and in Chicago, a city known for shootings, there were 278 more murders in 2020, an increase of 55%. While other crimes such as stolen cars and assaults rose as well, the report takes a close look at the connection between the homicide increase and the pandemic. It points to stress caused by isolation and extreme social restrictions, combined with economic loss and fear of death as possible factors.
We see even the healthiest of individuals with unlimited resources to coping strategies who are struggling.
Dr. Danny Holland of Regent University's School of Psychology leads the Institute for Violence Research. He says those stressors could lead people to violence and even murder.
Definitely could. It could push somebody over the edge. I think somebody who has a propensity for aggression or somebody who has a tendency to be aggressive in other different ways may go that direction.
Still, COVID isn't the only reason behind the increase. Extreme violence racked many cities following the police-related deaths of George Floyd and other African Americans. Criminologists also cite increased gang violence and a surge in gun ownership. Filmmaker Dimas Salaberios recently looked at the impact of surging violence in his film Chicago, America's Hidden War, which is under Oscar consideration. He describes its devastation on communities, particularly children.
We were walking through the streets. We asked for the addresses of the most dangerous blocks in Chicago. And we remember we met this little kid, his name was Quincy, who was sleeping under his bed. He said his house had bullet holes in it. He's seen bullets fly everywhere. We talked to another kid who was around 9 years old. He said, I watched in front of my face my cousin get beat up and shot twice and killed. Then the killer came back and shot him again. He said, I can never forget these things.
Salaberios says the church can make a difference.
This film shows guns being turned into pastors, people being baptized and quitting gangs.
Wow.
The church is the answer, and we can bring the homicides down, but we got to stay out there.
Meanwhile, experts say given these findings, it's crucial we get the pandemic under control. Then law enforcement, the church, and community leaders can work on ways to bring people together to stem violence across America. Charlene Aaron, CBN News.
The United States has topped 450,000 deaths due to COVID-19, but the number of people in the hospital is going down, as well as infection rates. Over the last week, infections slowed by about 16%, but the U.S. is still averaging roughly 139,000 new cases a day, about 3,000 deaths. That's down by about 6%. Medical experts are warning, though, not to get complacent. New, more contagious variants of the virus are rapidly spreading. Doctors say to continue taking safety precautions like wearing masks, social distancing, and washing your hands regularly. West Virginia is succeeding at rolling out the COVID vaccine, and its governor, Jim Justice, says it's thanks to common sense and prayer. CBN anchor Wendy Griffith spoke with the governor to find out what else is contributing to the state's success.
West Virginia is often last when it comes to national trends, but not this time. The Mountain State is credited with leading the country when it comes to the COVID vaccine rollout. And no one could be happier than West Virginia Governor Jim Justice.
Well, it does make me feel good. I mean, there's no question about this.
Governor Justice says a big factor in their success, not going with a federal plan to send the vaccine to big pharmacies like CVS and Walgreens. Instead, they stayed local, partnering with mom-and-pop pharmacies.
We recruited our pharmacies, our local health clinics. We absolutely put our National Guard right to work and everything. We took this to the people because the people are used to going to certain places and everything. And with all that, we started putting shots in people's arms, and that's why we've led the way.
Pharmacist Heidi Romero says West Virginia was ready.
They developed a team of people to begin working on the distribution process before the vaccines were even approved. And they enlisted every willing pharmacy, and it's just been a very cooperative effort between the state level, the pharmacies, the health departments. Everybody has put forth their best effort to make sure that the vaccines have rolled out as quickly as possible.
Now, you are a third-generation pharmacist in Canova, West Virginia. You work alongside your father. How does it feel to be the heroes right now in this pandemic?
It's honestly very humbling to be part of this process. We're just glad to be able to help in any way that we can. And the connection that we all have to our communities, it's made a big difference with feeling like you're finally able to do something to help the people that you know and care about.
In a different ranking, you may recall, West Virginia became the very last state to report a positive COVID case last March. Now it's hailed as a model when it comes to getting residents vaccinated, next to only North Dakota. the two states in a virtual tie, with both administering 81% of available vaccines. Governor Justice says it's not rocket science.
It's just simply good, sound thinking and then having the guts to move and to get it done.
Something else may have helped pave the way for their success. They prayed. The governor proclaimed March 25th of last year a statewide day of prayer.
But Father, I pray for all of us in our great state that you will intervene now and hear our words, as I know you will, and some way, somehow intervene to stop this terrible virus.
The governor says although they've seen their share of tragedy and loss of life, he knows God has been with them through it all. Wendy Griffith, CBN News.
Coming up, making the link between the color purple and biblical times. Just ahead, we'll explain the discovery archaeologists have made. Stay with us.
Life is better with a good night's sleep. Get your free DVD or booklet of Protect Your Sleep as the world watches from the outside.
It's a big diplomatic tug of war here in the Middle East.
Go inside the story with Jerusalem Dateline.
Israeli archaeologists are talking about a discovery that could change the thinking about the Temple Mount.
Join CBN Jerusalem Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell and get the biblical perspective on the events shaping the world.
What starts in Israel then ends up going to other places.
Watch Jerusalem Dateline Friday night at 9:30 on the CBN News Channel.
Life. It's meant to be lived fully. Jesus said it. I came to give you life. Life to the fullest. Life in your family. Life in your finances. Life in your body, mind, and spirit. Life in your everyday. At CBN.com, we're taking what Jesus said seriously. We're here to help you discover life. Life. Live it fully. CBN.com.
For the first time, Israeli archaeologists have recovered 3,000-year-old pieces of fabric from the time of King David and King Solomon. The discovery took place in southern Israel in Timna Valley. Archaeologists found the royal color purple fragments and used carbon dating to confirm the pieces had been preserved for 3,000 years. One archaeologist says the discovery provides an excellent background to the biblical record for this particular time.
I think that this is a game changer in the way archaeologists and biblical scholars understand the reality at that time period.
And joining us now with more on this is Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell. So, Chris, how is this discovery a game changer for archaeologists and biblical scholars?
Well, Ephraim, according to Ben Yosef, it changes the way we understand that time period. For example, these kings and kingdoms, where they didn't leave behind what we would expect, like walled cities or palaces. Even though they were nomadic, they would form powerful kingdoms. In fact, Ben Yosef wrote an article called The Architectural Bias in Biblical Archaeology. What he means by that is for years, archaeologists couldn't find cities or palaces, so they concluded these kingdoms didn't even exist. So he says the purple color pieces of fabric prove that they were strong kingdoms of the day with royalty and with kings.
Very nice. Chris, why is the color purple so important in the discovery?
Well, Ephraim, it completes the thread, and pardon the pun, but from these ancient tribes 3,000 years ago to the New Testament 2,000 years ago to today. And the color purple signified royalty, and it validates why these were nomadic kingdoms in ancient Israel. And it's also important to distinguish they differ from the nomadic Bedouins of today. There were more sophisticated people of the Bedouins of today. And for example, on this hill that you just saw in that report, they found evidence of copper production. They made treaties, they made war in other kingdoms. So Ben Yusuf made the point in the 1700s, German biblical scholars thought of ancient kingdoms as we do of the Bedouins today, who were more simplistic, yet the Bedouins were part of the Ottoman Empire, and you really can't compare the two.
Now, Chris, royal purple is also mentioned in the New Testament, correct?
2 times. Ephraim, in the book of Acts, it mentions Lydia, a seller of purple. It says a certain woman named Lydia, a seller of purple of the city of Thyatira, one who worshiped God, heard us, meaning heard Paul, and then whose heart was open to the Lord to listen to the things that were spoken of by Paul. She was very likely very prosperous. And it also mentions in the gospel, the Roman soldiers put a purple royal robe on Jesus. They did it to mock him as the King of the Jews.
All right, Chris Mitchell, thank you so much. Want to let everyone know you can also catch more from Chris this evening on Jerusalem Dateline. It begins at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Be sure to check it out. Still ahead, time to get our head in game mode. Super Bowl Sunday now, just 2 days away. Sports director Sean Brown is here to explain who he thinks will take home the top prize.
On October 1st, 1961, history was made when a tiny station began transmitting the first signals of the Christian Broadcasting Network.
CBN, the Christian Broadcasting Network.
And now, a new era has begun with the all-new CBN News Channel.
Just moments ago, the Iron Dome intercepted an incoming rocket right on the Gaza border.
Administering in this area, spiritual warfare is definitely involved.
A 24/7 news network, bringing you the news you want from a source you can trust.
In Kenya, 40% of the medical services are actually provided by these Christian hospitals.
Let's talk about the economy.
Believers here are joining together to win people to Jesus Christ.
All your favorite shows now in one place. Go to cbnnewschannel.com to find out how to get the CBN News Channel on your TV all day, every day. CBN News. Life is better with a good night's sleep. Get your free DVD or booklet of Protect Your Sleep today.
Life. It's meant to be lived fully. Jesus said it. I came to give you life. Life to the fullest. Life in your family. Life in your finances. Life in your body, mind, and spirit. Life in your everyday. At CBN.com, we're taking what Jesus said seriously. We're here to help you discover life. Life. Live it fully. CBN.com.
Experience the excitement of the 2021 Super Bowl breakfast.
Get ready.
Featuring NFL legends Tony Dungy, Anthony Munoz, Benjamin Watson, and more.
You know, I just closed my eyes and said a Hail Mary.
Along with the presentation of the prestigious Bart Starr Award. It's an hour of great stories you won't want to miss. Saturday, February 6th at 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. And Sunday before the big game at 2:30 p.m. Eastern on the CBN News Channel.
And speaking of the Super Bowl, it's just days away. And of course, we are all eager to see the Kansas City Chiefs take home the trophy. But I think there's some other team playing as well. Sports director Sean Brown joins us live right now to tell us who he's taking. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the Kansas City Chiefs?
Hey, good morning, Ephraim. I love that lead-in, man. We're all leaning towards the Chiefs. I agree. I think the Kansas City Chiefs is going to pull it out. But, hey, man, to be honest with you, this game is going to go the distance. You like how I did that? It's going to go the distance, man. I expect a high-scoring game. It's really going to come down to the defense. Everyone's talking about how explosive each offense is. And of course, the Chiefs have a lot of weapons. Tariq Hill, Travis Kelce, Brady's got weapons. Antonio Brown is back. Mike Evans, Leonard Fournette in the backfield for the Bucs. It's going to go the distance, but it's going to come down to the defense. Which defense can force fumbles? Which defense can make interceptions? Which defense? All it takes is a little bump to throw the timing off, to capitalize on mistakes or force mistakes. And so that's what I'm watching. Who's going to show up on the defensive side of the ball? Because Brady's going to get the end zone. We know Patrick Mahomes is going to get in the end zone. So which defense is going to force those challenges for the opposing team? And I think that's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'm right there with you. We know that before the games get underway, CBN will air the Super Bowl breakfast this weekend.
Oh, yeah. The Super Bowl breakfast, man. I love it because you get a chance to see players in a new light and coaches in a new light. And basically, there's going to be an award given, the Bart Starr Award, which really is an annual award that exemplifies the NFL player that shows character and leadership on the field, at home, and in the community. All three of those areas. And so I'm really excited about that. This year it's Demario Davis, and I'm just really excited about him because he deserves it.
All right. And you have something else to share about that as well, correct?
Yes. Actually, Demario Davis's wife, Tamala, had a chance to share a little bit about what she's seen in her husband. Take a look at this clip. I believe you have a clip there.
And Demario is just such an encouraging person. Just if you've met him, he has a sermon on his heart at all times, regardless of what it is. And so I'm just always just so moved and encouraged by his faith and his ability to just really seek God in so many different areas of his life. He does so many different things just from the goodness of his heart and his desire to see the gospel go forward. And so he's humbled and just grateful for the opportunity to be recognized. But recognition or not, he would still run the race. He would still do all of the things that he feels like God has called and led him to do. And so I think he's just kind of in awe. He was so shocked, so surprised, yet so grateful and so humble just for the opportunity. And every time he gets some sort of award or some sort of recognition, he tries to use it to channel and call out, other men and other leaders and other individuals just to come and labor alongside him. I think to really be in tune with God and see the different avenues that he may be calling them to lead and to serve, not just, on the field, because sometimes people can feel like, football is, who they are. And it's essentially just what they do. It's not who they are. And so it's like, okay, yes, I can lead on the field, but it's bigger than leading on the field. Like, I also want to challenge and encourage people to also lead at home, to also lead inside of their communities. And inside of those places are where you're going to see the most impact and the most change, and you're going to be able to reach the most people.
How beautiful. Wow. What great words to come from a wife. Being a husband myself, I mean, no greater praise. And you, I imagine, feel the same.
Absolutely, man. There you have it. A perspective that we don't get a chance to see. We see him on the football field. We see some of the things they do in the community. But there you have a wife that says, no, this is who he is all the time. Even when the cameras aren't rolling, this is who Demario Davis is. And it's just a congratulations to him. And that's what going the distance is all about, man.
Indeed.
Leadership in your work, leadership in the community, and leadership at home.
Excellent. Want to remind people you can watch Going the Distance with Sean Brown this weekend on the CBN News Channel, Saturday at 8:30, Sunday at 7:30, both Eastern Standard Time. Coming up, extra help around the house. What's new in the world of robotics? You'll want to see this. Stay with us.
Daddy?
Yeah, buddy?
How many nickels are in a dollar?
There are 20 nickels in a dollar.
How do birds fly? Does milk really make my bones stronger?
Yeah.
Daddy, when we die, will we go to heaven?
Do you have the answer to life's biggest question? Call the 700 Club. We'll help you find answers to the important questions life brings your way.
Watch breaking news, in-depth exclusive stories and programs from health to entertainment you won't find anywhere else. The CBN News Channel, a perspective you can trust. Enjoy credible news reporting from around the world. Discover inspiring programs and stories of hope, all in one place from a Christian perspective. The CBN News Channel, a perspective you can trust. To watch the CBN News Channel, download the app or visit cbnnewschannel.com.
Hello, I'm Dr. David Perlmutter, board-certified neurologist and #1 New York Times bestselling author. Wouldn't it be great to boost your energy, eliminate brain fog, and even reverse brain disease? Well, you can, and I'm going to show you how, along with some of the world's most well-respected brain experts in this DVD, Protect Your Brain.
Get Protect Your Brain, a free DVD only from the Christian Broadcasting Network, featuring experts on the cutting edge of neuroscience and brain health.
No matter how many times you've failed in the past, you really can do this.
In Protect Your Brain, you'll discover simple strategies to keep your brain young and healthy. Improve your memory. Discover the gut-brain connection. In Protect Your Brain, get your free copy at cbn.com or call 1-800-700-7000.
If you want to improve the quality of your life, get the DVD Protect Your Brain and get it today.
We will move the American embassy to the eternal capital of the Jewish people, Jerusalem.
As the nations rage, you can stand with Israel.
History is being written, and I want to be a part of it.
Call 1-800-700-7000 and get to life.
This is our nature as a country.
Discover the untold story of how Israeli volunteers are changing the world.
We consider it our duty to reach out and help others around the world.
For a gift of $10 or more, you can own the acclaimed CBN documentary To Life.
To treat a human, no matter what he is, which religious he have, which color he is, this is what I'm doing.
Support Israel in their time of need. Get to Life, now available on DVD. Call 1-800-700-7000 or log on to cbn.com.
And I wish that other people throughout the world could see this side of Israel.
Robots are becoming increasingly more advanced, and new technology is proving just that. It's called Spot, and the things it can do are pretty incredible. The Boston Dynamics creation just got an updated arm attachment that allows it to do all sorts of things, from cleaning up the house to opening doors and flipping on light switches. The Boston Dynamics team even taught a group of Spot bots how to jump rope. So if you're in the market for a highly functional robot, they are for sale. You can buy one for a mere $75,000. Time now for your Friday Faithful, and today I leave you with this thought: what's inside you is bigger than what's in front of you. Don't be moved by what you see. God's promises are greater and more truthful. Hold fast to His word. Eat it. Let it rest in your heart. In doing so, you can say what I say: what's inside you is greater than what's in front of you. With that word, make today a fabulous Friday, and be sure to have yourself a wonderful weekend, and do it on purpose. That is going to do it for this edition of CBN News Watch. Thank you so much for watching. I want to remind you, you can always find more of our programs on the CBN News Channel. You can also find them online at cbnnews.com at any time. We would love to know what you think about the stories you've seen here today. You can email us, newswatch@cbn.com. The address is right there at the bottom of your screen. You can also reach out and touch us anytime on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We certainly would love to hear from you. Hope you'll join us again right here next time. Again, I encourage you to make today a fabulous Friday. Have yourself a wonderful weekend. We'll see you right back here, same time come Monday. Goodbye, everybody. God bless.